He's out of room. It's out of here.
Swung on a miss. An outstanding catch to end the inning.
From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, another gorgeous evening for baseball as the Indians try to even the series against Chicago at a game apiece. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning, and just listening to my opening statement as I said it leads me to my first point. Why can't the Indians win the first game of a series? Because it seems like every time we do this, we're talking about them trying to even the series after game one.
Well, they have certainly struggled this year for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, if you could play it back and try and do something, they're giving up unearned runs. They seem to get behind early in the ball game, play catch-up. They're not hitting very well for average. And I'll tell you what, it's just a bad combination. When you look at the total numbers this year of them in first games of series, I mean, it's atrocious, really. It's 2-14. The rest of the time, they're 14-13. Break that in half. Let them go 500 there. They're a much better ball club, but you can see 13 unearned runs. Defensively, they haven't played well. Their earned run average is up there, and they're not hitting. That's a bad combination for game one. And then, as you say, you're always playing catch-up.
All right, on the hill tonight for the Tribe is Mitch Talbot. He's been one of their best starters so far this year, coming off really his only Rocky outing so far this year.
Well, and Mitch Talbot, his first Major League win came against the Chicago White Sox, so he's going to have good memories of that ball game. He shut them down. He had a complete game and pitched very, very well. And, you know, when Mitch goes out there, he's done absolutely fine. He's given everything that they need. So in May, he struggled a little bit because the ERA has gone up. His control was a little problem in his last start, but no big deal. He's got to get that back. He's matched up against Jake Peavy, who's been on a roll in the month of May. He's won 3 out of his last 4. He lost his last start, but 2-0 in the Central Division.
Jake Peavy stood up and challenged his team yesterday before the series began here in Cleveland to start playing better baseball. They feel like they can still get themselves back in the race. We'll see if Peavy can put his money where his mouth is here tonight. We'll be back with all the play-by-play action coming up next. Game series here tonight. Chicago comes in with a record of 19-25 on the year. 7 games off the pace in the AL Century, currently in third place. Indians dead last, 16-27, 9.5 games out of first. Indians have lost 7 out of 10. White Sox have split their last 10 games as Mitch Talbot and the Tribe take the field here this evening. Mitch Talbot trying to bounce back after a rough start his last time out against the Kansas City Royals. He did wind up pitching 6 innings in that game, but he wound up allowing 6 runs on 8 hits, suffering his 3rd loss of the year. He's 5-3 coming in. Let's take a look at Ozzie Guillen's starting lineup for Chicago tonight. Juan Pierre once again leading it off, the left fielder. Alexi Ramirez gets the start tonight at shortstop. Then it's Alex Rios and Andrew Jones. Mark Kotze batting 5th. Carlos Quentin DHing tonight. He'll hit 6th. Mark Tian at 3rd. Ramon Castro behind the plate, and Gordon Beckham will bat 9th.
Take a look at tonight's starting pitcher, brought to you by the Indians Team Shops, where you'll get 2 free tickets when you spend $50. It's Mitch Talbot on the mound, making his 9th start. He has a decision in his first 8 starts. He is 5-3. And he has stopped 3 2-game losing streaks and also a 5-game losing streak for the Tribe. So he's going to come back on and try and get them back in the winning ways. And as you mentioned, his last start didn't have the control that he normally has. We'll see if he has it again. His one start against Chicago has been very good. Take a look at the Home Depot doing more on Indians' defensive lineup. It's Kearns, Crow, and Chu in the outfield. Peralta, Donald, Valbuena, and Branyan on the infield. Marson behind the plate. They have made 28 errors. They are rated 8th in the American League. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Umpiring crew tonight, Paul Schreiber calling the balls and strikes. Rob Drake at 1st, the crew chief Joe West at 2nd, and Angel Hernandez down at 3rd. Juan Pierre steps in, all ready to get us underway. Mitch Talbot with the first pitch strike.
You know, that sinker wasn't sinking for him last time. He gave up a 3-run home run to Alberto Callaspo, which really hurt him in that ball game. And normally when he's got that sinker working, he cuts it. He's got a very good changeup, and he's tough against left-handed hitters, where lefty's hitting just 150 off him this year.
Jammed him, and it's fouled away by Juan Pierre. When Mitch Talbot has had trouble this year, it's usually in the early innings. But the one thing that we have seen with him, even if he gets dinged early in a game, doesn't seem to let it affect him as far as staying in the game. He doesn't have that meltdown that causes the early hook. And, of course, the hope is that he can get deep into this game here tonight. The 0-2 pitch.
Good
struck
pitch.
Him out looking.
Good pitch. Locked him out inside corner. You know, when you come right back and you start that ball at his hip and it comes back a little bit. Yes, sir. A little window shopping there for Juan Pierre. Right there. Perfect pitch by Mitch Talbot.
Going to bring up Alexi Ramirez. Ramirez did not start last night's game. Came in as a pinch runner and stayed on and played shortstop last night. Wound up with a walk in his only plate appearance. Good changeup. And it's 0-2. I say the Indians are hopeful that Talbot can get deep into this game tonight, and that sounds like an obvious statement because you'd like to see that every night, but in particular because they had to use that bullpen for 5 innings of last night's game.
Well, you've got the quick turnaround, too, a 12 o'clock game tomorrow. Yeah, you'd always like your starter to go 8 innings if they could. Complete the game if you would. But those are a rarity, but that's the one thing that Mitch did in his last start and his only start against the White Sox this year. He went 9 innings and gave up 6 hits. His first major league win against him back on April 16th. Struck out 2, did not walk a batter, and threw 97 pitches.
That's the first ball he's thrown tonight right there, that last pitch to Ramirez.
Well, then he had a good side session because he came out very sharp.
Line down the left field line, but hooked foul. So Ramirez comes back, count remains 1-2. Alex Rios waits on deck. Little topper foul. The one thing you don't get with Mitch Talbot is a lot of swings and misses. He's a guy that wants them to put the ball in play.
Yeah, he's not a strikeout guy. He's only struck out 21 batters. He's walked 24. Pitch to contact.
Popped him up. Russell Branyan. 2 down. Tonight's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Friedman, Damiano & Smith. When you're injured, depend on them. Find Friedman, Damiano & Smith online at fdslaw.com. And as we mentioned last night, for the White Sox, pretty rare that you're this deep into the season already, and they have no players listed on their injury report. Talbot delivers low, ball one to Rios, who was 1 for 4 in last night's game with a home run. His 9th of the year. He's driven in 23. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And a solid line drive to center. Hangs up and reaching down to make the grab is Trevor Crowe. And the White Sox go 1-2-3. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Trevor Crowe, Shin-Soo Choo, and then Travis Hafner, who's back in the lineup tonight with an 11-game hitting streak. Kearns, Brandon, Peralta in the middle. Valbuena, Marson, and Donald round it out. And Trevor Crowe looks at a first pitch strike. He was 0 for 5 in last night's game. But he has hit in 8 of the 10 games he's played since the call-up. 1-1 to count.
Yeah, the key here, make Jake Peavy get the fastball down.
Bounces it to first. Kotze will take it himself.
Let's look at the numbers for Jake Peavy, who's 3-3. He's won 3 out of his last 4 starts. His last start, he was beat by the Angels. He went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs. But he has pitched well against the Central Division. He's 1-1 on the road and a high ERA of 6. But this year against the AL Central, 2-0 and a 2.93.
Shin-Soo Choo also 0 for 5 in last night's game. Looks at ball 1 outside. Jake Peavy was front and center before last night's series opener. As Choo bounces one in the hole. Nice diving stop by Kotze, but he threw it behind Peavy. And Choo is aboard with 1 out here in the first inning.
Well, he rushed it a little bit. He made a nice catch on the ball with the glove going into the hole. I think he just rushed the throw and threw the ball behind Peavy. If he leads him, he's got him. But he makes a nice catch. That one in the hole, you can see where Beckham was going to dive for it too. But when you come to your knees, maybe didn't have his balance, maybe couldn't get a grip on the ball. And throws it wide, but it was a nice catch. And a bad throw. So it'll go as a base hit for Chu.
That's a case where he had more time than he thought he did.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. You make a play like that, and you know Chu, and maybe it's a byproduct of Chu running down the line every time as hard as he does, putting pressure on the defense.
Here's Travis Hafner, did not play last night. It takes a first pitch strike. Before last night's game, Jake Peavy said, quote, "There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Indians have some injuries, and we have to win this series. I'm not sugarcoating anything. Hey, we've got to play good baseball. We have to beat teams that we feel like we should beat." Well, he went on to say, it's not a knock against the Indians. They're hurt right now. They're not playing their best baseball, and if we want to be where we think we need to be, we have to win this series.
I totally understand that as an athlete. You're not knocking the other team. They are injured. You've got your first two guys out of the lineup. We're healthy. We have nobody on the DL. We don't come in here, we don't win the series, we don't deserve it then. And it's more challenging his team than it is knocking the other team.
Exactly. And Rick, from your playing days, players aren't immune to the rumors. They don't get caught up in them the way the rest of us who follow the game do, but they certainly hear things, and they know that if they don't start playing better baseball, then the general manager and ownership will be forced to start making trades and start moving players.
Exactly right. That is so true. I mean, there were times when there was two divisions when I was playing. Teams used to come up and say, we got to beat the Indians, period. Because we weren't an upper echelon club, and they felt that if you don't win the series, then they lost. I mean, they didn't play well. That's you can look at it any way you want to. But the bottom line is, as a team, even though you have the injuries and the Indians, they're going to go out and play hard. They may be undermanned, but they can still win on any given night.
Another throw over to first, and it's been close every time.
He better, and Sandy's going to go tell him right now, hey, shorten it up. If you're not running, shorten it up. Don't make it so close. He's not going to run here with Hafner at the plate. He'll save him that hole between first and second. And he's about a half step closer to the bag.
Hafner pops it foul, out of play. Jake Peavy went on to say yesterday that this is a 7-game road trip for Chicago. These 3 here in Cleveland. Then they go to Tampa for 4. But then they've got a 9-game homestand that includes Texas, the Indians, and Detroit, followed by 9 games against sub-500 teams, the Cubs, Pirates, and Washington Nationals. As Hafner lines one into right field for a base hit, Chu will hit second and hold right there. So back-to-back hits with one out here in the first inning. And the Indians have something brewing against Jake Peavy.
Hafner now with a 12-game hitting streak. Came on a breaking ball. The slider going to right field. Look at, they're going to sit away. Want that backdoor breaking ball. Hafner kept his hands back, and ball was up a little bit. Hafner pulls it to right field. So back-to-back singles. And the Indians in business here.
And that'll bring up Austin Kearns with 2 aboard. Kearns was 0 for 4 last night. And a fair ball behind the bag, knocked down by Tian. Long throw to first, and he got him.
Boy, oh boy, he stayed with it.
Nice play by Tian to retire Kearns for out number 2, runners to second and third.
That was the only play he had, and Tian didn't really catch this ball cleanly. It comes out of his glove, but it was right there. He's picked it up with his bare hand, made a very nice throw just to get Kearns. So he stayed with it beautifully to get the second out of the inning.
Mark Tian, who's starting to swing the bat better offensively. But the folks who follow the White Sox say his defense has got to improve. He's got to play better defensively. And that was a good play there. Now Russell Brandon swings and misses. To finish the thought on Peavy and his comments yesterday, talking about their upcoming schedule. He said, I'm hesitant to say we have a favorable schedule because this is the big leagues and anything can happen on any given day. But, quote, we feel like we can get it done. Inside, 1-1 to count to Russell Branyan. Fact remains, Chicago's 6 games under 500. And the old saying goes, until you get above the 500 mark,
right,
tough to consider yourself a real contender.
Well, that's what you play for. You play for the 500 mark when you're down below, and then you start winning series. The ultimate goal is you go in and you take 2 out of 3 from every team you play, and you're going to be in pretty good shape when it's all said and done.
The 1-2 to Branyan. Broke his bat. Bloop towards center. Coming in, Rios. And the inning is over. The rally fizzles, and we're scoreless after 1. Your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Well, no scores. We go to the second inning. And for Chicago, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up. Mitch Talbot set them down in order in the first. Misses for ball 1 to Jones. Marson took the brunt of that, and the count is now 1-1.
Andrew Jones 1 home run shy of Dale Murphy. He is at 397, 3 away from the 400 mark, which you know he's going to get there.
Ironic in that both he and Dale Murphy played for the Atlanta Braves. And Jones' former club is suddenly surging in that National League East. They're 2 games above 500 and only 3.5 in back of Philadelphia in this, the final year for Bobby Cox as manager.
You're sort of rooting for them for a 12 spot, aren't you?
I'd like to see that.
Yes, you would.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Talbot delivers, and he struck him out looking. That's 2 strikeouts tonight for Talbot.
Both of his strikeouts have been called. See this pitch? Sitting away is Lou Marson, and that ball comes back. That's a fastball, top of the strike zone. Belled high, gets the call. Jones doesn't pull the trigger, and Paul Schreiber rings him up.
Line toward left, sinking in a hurry. Kearns can't get to it. It skips past him. On his way to second is Kotze. And he'll hold right there. I think that ball hit and took a wild skip on him.
You know what? It did. He was walking in thinking it's just going to hit and bounce up, and he comes after, but that thing hit something. I know it had spin on it because it was one of those things, but watch how this thing, all right, there's the spin. It's going to have that inside out. It will go to the line, but look, he's coming in, okay, let me take the hop and throw it to second base, and that thing looked like it hit a gopher hole. I mean, that thing took off and did a direct left to get past him. That's going to be a double. You certainly didn't expect that.
And now Carlos Quentin, who did not play last night, takes the first pitch strike.
Well, back when the season started and we opened up in Chicago, we said that the offense is going to be keyed around this guy. It's very important for this guy to have a good year, you know, to get into the home run race and do like he did a few years ago because of the injuries. Last year he had the foot problems, but
he's got him hung up here.
Run at him. No, gave it up too early. Yeah, the first throw he gave it up way too early. Talbot gave it up, and he should have ran right at him, forced him to go back to second base and make one throw to get him. And once he gave it up too early, then you enabled Quentin to get into scoring position. The goal is one throw and tag him. So now keep going at him. Keep going at him. He gave it up way too early and didn't give him a good throw. But you see how quickly Valbuena gave it up. But by that time, Quentin could get to second base. He's in scoring position, so Kotze did his job.
2 down, runner at second, and Mark Teahen will be the batter. Mark Teahen coming off his second 3-hit game on the year. He also drove in 3 runs last night for Chicago. Missed inside for ball 1.
Well, a guy that you thought they went out and traded for him. You thought that he would put up better numbers in that ballpark he's playing. I know it's only the first 2 months of the season, and then there's a ways to go, and that ball carries a little better in the summertime in Chicago. But Teahen, I thought, would add a little more to this lineup than what he has.
Well, White Sox have a good young third baseman in the minor leagues that they're looking at as well.
Well, they had one last year, too, in Gordon Beckham. Where, then they wanted to say, they said, we want to put him into the middle of the field because he's one of our better athletes. We want to keep him in an action position, and then they moved him to second base. And the funny thing, he's playing well defensively, but offensively he's struggling this year.
Popped down the left side. That'll slice into the seats. Seven-game hitting streak for Mark Teahen. And that has allowed his average to climb up to 248. Mitch Talbot has thrown 27 pitches thus far. 22 have been for strikes.
Much different than his last start.
Night and day. And, that's where we talk about it. Players making adjustments. Sometimes you got to make those adjustments start to start.
Well, he's a control pitcher. So, that one start was just a fluke thing for him. I'm sure in his side session went out and worked out all the kinks, whether it was mechanically or whatever, but came out pounding the strike zone tonight.
Again, slicing out of play.
Every pitcher's going to have those starts where you go out there and you just don't have a feel for it and you just can't get it back together, or you just have a bad outing against a certain team. You just have to you shorten it and get it ready and get it going again by your next start.
A ball and 2 strikes to count here, and he struck him out. 3 strikeouts already for Mitch Talbot through 2 innings, and we are scoreless as the Indians come to bat in the bottom of the 2nd. For the Tribe, Johnny Peralta, Luis Valbuena, and Lou Marson do up. Jake Peavy. And Peralta shoots it right back. Johnny fights it off. Peralta 236 on the year, 3 homers, 18 runs batted in. And in last night's game, he was 1 for 4. Peavy gets his first strikeout, 1 down here in the 2nd inning.
Let's check out that defense behind Jake Peavy tonight for the White Sox. In the outfield, Pierre in left, Rios in center, Jones is in right. At third, it's Tien. Shortstop is Ramirez. Beckham is at second. Kotze at first. Ramon Castro behind the plate tonight.
Luis Valbuena did not play last night. Batting 143. High pop foul. And into the seats it goes. Valbuena trying to maintain some sense of confidence at the plate, despite the fact that every time he looks up at the board, Sees that 143 next to the average.
Yeah, you don't want to look up there. It's been a battle and a struggle for Valbuena all year long. Both offensively and defensively. He's had a tough year. Got him.
And he's out looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Peavy here in the second inning. 2 down. And Lou Marson will be the batter. Our great clip of the game from last night, courtesy of Lou Marson, who had 2 hits for the Indians. Relax, you're at Great Clips. That RBI for Marson is second on the year. .99 at-bats for Lou. 21 hits, 4 doubles. He went too far, says home plate umpire Paul Schreiber. And the count is 1-1. Marson trying to slow Peavy down a bit. The 1-1. Marson fights it off. Now for Jake Peavy, you look at his earned run average coming in at 574. As that pitch is tapped towards short. And Ramirez on the run throws him out. And the Indians go quickly 1-2-3 here in the second inning. No score through 2. Later in the game to see what our Miller Taste Greatness moment will be. Mitch Talbot has looked sharp here in the early going. He's allowed 1 hit. He has struck out 3 through the first 2 innings. Ramon Castro, Gordon Beckham, and Juan Pierre due up for Chicago here. And Talbot goes right at him with a first pitch strike. Since coming off the disabled list, this is the 5th start for Ramon Castro. He had a bruised right heel that sidelined him for almost an entire month.
You know, and you look at him and say, well, why do you sit Pierzynski, the left-hander, against a guy like Mitch Talbot? Because Talbot is so much better against left-handers and right-handers. Righties are hitting 321 coming into today's game compared to lefties hitting 150. So you're going to give him a start. Let him start against the righty.
The 1-1. Bounced it. And it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, when Ramon Castro caught Mark Burley's perfect game last July, it was the first perfect game in Major League history to feature a battery working together for the very first time.
Huh.
Swung on and missed.
You know, it doesn't surprise you because there's only been 19 now with the perfect game this year.
It doesn't surprise you that that was the first. It surprises you that it was a perfect game.
Right.
And that they had only... They've never worked together in a game before, yeah. Good pitch, and he rung him up. Boy, Mitch Talbot is razor sharp here tonight. 4 punch-outs already. Time now for the AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. Who's the only player to appear in 1,000 or more games as a DH and at another position?
You got it?
I have no clue. 1,000 games as a DH?
As a designated hitter and also as a position player.
I'm hung up on the wording a little bit. 0-1 pitch to Beckham. Bounced
Don't be a big guy.
to short. And Jason Donald takes care of that. 2 down. Hey, Bruce Drennan is going to have a huge guest on his show tomorrow. If you haven't heard, John Krepop will be appearing live on Bruce Drennan's show tomorrow,
the
fans.
Big Popper.
So make sure you tune in tomorrow, probably right at the top of the show, I would imagine, because that's the kind of frontline guest John Krepop is. He's worked here in the press box for, how many years?
Oh, he's been. I'll tell you,
40?
he used to work in the clubhouse and in the front office back when I was playing. So this guy he's been around
There
for a
he
long
is.
time.
There's the popper. He's crushing a hot dog.
Yes, he is. A big bopper. Go ahead and eat. We don't care.
Make sure you tune in to see All Bets Are Off tomorrow with Bruce and his special guest, John Krepop.
They're going to talk about the NHL, aren't they?
Well, he's having him on because Popper is an expert on the NHL salary cap. And he's going to break down the NHL salary cap and how it may or may not pertain to baseball.
Okay.
Potentially, that type of thing. And so I think it'll be a fascinating.
I'm really amazed that he can go on that show and talk after he can't even announce on the broadcast here to a change in the lineup.
So make sure you check out Bruce. So that'll be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. No television for tomorrow's series finale between the Indians and White Sox.
And that game, you know what?
Noon.
That's right. That game, he may be on before that because you got a Burley-Westbrook matchup.
Austin Kearns takes care of that. 1, 2, 3 go the White Sox as Mitch Talbot looks really good here tonight. No score, bottom of the third inning here at Progressive Field. Jason Donald, Trevor Crowe, and Shin-Soo Choo for the Indians. Donald, a couple of hits in last night's ball game. And he gets into one well here. Pierre looking up, and it is gone to Souvenir City. Jason Donald with his first Major League home run. And it stakes the Indians to a 1-0 lead.
No, he put a good swing on that ball. 9th home run given up by Peavy, and that ball, it was a line drive. He hit one earlier on this homestand like that. It hit the top of the wall and came back for a double. But this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it, and how can't you love a first Major League home run right here. That little two-seamer stayed middle of the plate, and Donald drills it into the seats. They will get that ball back for him, I guarantee you. Rick Danberg will be out there in no time.
Trevor Crowe looks at a ball down low. Now, Travis Hafner was telling me the other day, he said, I really like the offensive approach that Jason Donald has. He said he's not afraid, he's not intimidated. He gets up there and he swings it.
Yeah, he's aggressive. And you know what? I was going to say this last night. Look at Nunley in the background. And yeah, that's all smiles, baby. That's his first Major League homer.
Now Trevor Crowe with a liner to right, caught by Jones for out number one. You were going to say about
every
Donald?
series is different. He went in to our last series that we played against Cincinnati and struggled a little bit, but then you come to a new series in the White Sox, he's a different guy. He's been swinging the bat much better, and I like that because we're going to play these guys a lot of times, and then we'll go from here. We'll go to see the Yankees play. So I mean, it's good watching young players how they approach every series that they play.
Shin-Soo Choo had a infield hit in his first at bat. Well, speaking of young players, I was listening to Justin Smoke, one of the rookies for the Texas Rangers, and they were asking him on the radio the other day about his offensive approach. Do you watch video? How do you? And and he said, I think a lot of young players are probably very similar in that it's see ball and just react. Look for a pitch in your zone, and Choo just got a pitch in his zone, and this baby is way out of here. Shin-Soo Choo. His 7th home run of the year. 2nd home run of the inning for the Indians, and they now lead it 2-0. Couple of solo homers for the Indians here in inning number 3 off Jake Peavy.
Watch this big, slow breaking ball, and Choo stays back. Oh, boy, he gave it a ride. 82 miles per hour. And it went out at about 182. And it went high and deep, and there was no doubt about this one. So a pair of solo home runs in the inning have the Indians up 2-0.
And here's Travis Hafner, a base hit his first time up. Hafner hammers the ball. Deep right field. Jones running out of room. It's over his head. On the track into the seats. A ground rule double. Indians teeing off on Jake Peavy here in inning number 3.
And boy, Andrew Jones tried to make a center fielder's catch in a right field. He had his back turned to home plate, and he was going to go after it. He thought that ball might have been out of here. It just didn't have the carry, and he tried to make that basket catch over his shoulder when you watch it. Another pitch up in the zone by Jake Peavy, and watch him. Back to the wall. That's a center fielder right there. You can tell how many years he played in the outfield. How many right fielders you see their back dead straight to home plate?
I don't think I ever have.
I know, very few. It bounces into the seats, so Hafner with a ground rule double.
The last time I can remember a right fielder running with his back to the plate like that was when Manny Ramirez tried to run up the wall in right field in Yankee Stadium in the playoffs years ago. And the ball almost hit him in the back.
Yeah, it never got out, did it?
No. Kearns shoots it back to the screen. Up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little bit low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin Kearns 0 for his last 6. They tell us those 2 home runs hit by Donald and Chu measured 800 feet together.
Well, it's long enough for 2 runs. That's all I care.
Popped up behind the plate. Castro to the screen, out of room. Oh, nice. Nice over the top move there. So Jake Peavy giving up a couple of long balls and then a double to Hafner. Still only 1 out here in the 3rd. Full count. There's Mr.
Red.
Amber
There he is in the red
shirt.
I knew he'd be out there. They're going to work a trade right now to get that ball back. Let's see. What would you like?
This guy's got the look like, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble?
He probably is waiting for his agent to show up for some negotiation rights.
Peavy's payoff pitch. And Kearns is rung up by Paul Schreiber. 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Peavy.
Well, a little slider, tight one on the outside corner. That was a tough one right there. Boy, oh boy, as a hitter, you certainly don't want to swing. And you get that call as a pitcher, you got to like it. I guess the best you could do there is try and foul it off.
Russell Brandon takes a strike. Line to center field, a base hit. Hafner coming around 3rd, going to be waved home. Rios, his throw way offline, and the Indians score again. 3-0 Cleveland. As Russell Brandon picks up his 11th run batted in on the year. That big 2-out RBI hit once again provided by the Indians.
Well, he went up there and Russell didn't try to pull it. Another ball upstairs. Peavy's been up in this inning, and they have really done some damage to him. This is a way off line. Hafner comes in to score the 3rd run of the inning.
Johnny Peralta struck out his first time up. Looks at ball 1 outside, and it's been a long inning now for Jake Peavy. Peralta, the 7th Indian to bat here in the 3rd. And Johnny lines out to end the inning. But the Indians strike for 3. Couple of home runs, one by Jason Donald. First of his major league career. Another by Shin-Soo Choo. And the Indians lead it 3-0. 3-0 Indians as we go to the fourth inning. And Mitch Talbot will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Chicago. Alexi Ramirez leads off, and a first pitch strike from Talbot. Mitch has thrown 42 pitches, 33 strikes.
Yeah, he's been pounding the strike zone tonight, and you know they've been able to score when Mitch has been on the mound this year. They've done a nice job. They're averaging almost 6 runs a game in his starts.
Jammed him, and Talbot's got to scamper over to the bag. Just does beat Ramirez one way. Let's get a look at our Subway fresh face of the game. Jordan Brown last night in a big win over Charlotte was 2 for 4 with a double, and he drove in 4 runs. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Rick, that 2-homer inning for the Tribe, just their second this year. You remember in that big 9th inning in Baltimore, Austin Kearns and Trevor Crowe both homered.
That's right. Well, they're celebrating now then at the Gathering Place.
That is right.
2-homer inning.
Alex Rios lined to center, hit the ball hard his first time up. 2 balls, no strikes. He got the same call Peavy got. Of course, the one Peavy threw was a strike 3 pitch. Similar location, though. 2-1 the count now on Rios. Going inside, and a big chopper to short. Donald had to play back on it. Long throw, and the ball tips off the glove of Brennan, and Rios is aboard at first. I don't know if Donald could have done anything differently.
No, you had to go back because of the high hop. And it was a funky hop by the time. Anytime you go back on a ball, it's off a tough play. Let's watch. Takes that high hop, and he couldn't make the commitment up. So once you break back, he had to go back, and that throws a little high. It would have been really close anyway if Brandon could have caught the ball and stayed on first base. That's going to go as a base hit.
So an infield single for Rios, who has 14 stolen bases on the year.
Yeah, but Talbot, a guy that does a nice job holding runners. There you
Peralta
go.
Goes to second. They get 1. Valbuena turns 2, and the inning is over. 5-4-3 around the horn they go. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Cleveland. Bottom third of the Indians' order due up here. He was not so impressed with that awesome display of offense by the Indians. 2 homers for the Tribe in that third inning. They scored 3 times. Bottom third of the order due up here. Jake Peavy misses to Valbuena outside. Valbuena struck out his first time up. Big bouncer to first. Kotze, the flip, and Peavy takes it for out number 1.
Well, we would like you to fill the house for the Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio tomorrow when the Indians wrap up this homestand and the final game against the White Sox. That'll start at 12:05, and every ticket sold, $1 will be donated to the charity. Great seats still available, and you can save up to 50%. So call 216-420-HITS.
Lou Marson takes the first pitch strike from Jake Peavy. Marson grounded out to short his first time up. Down too low, 2 balls and a strike. Mitch Talbot, 4 scoreless innings under his belt. I think that got a piece of Ramon Castro on the foul. Tried to paint the outside corner, did not get the call. And it's a full count. Payoff pitch. Big chopper. Tian fires. 2 down. Well, Jason Donald with his first major league home run in his last at bat, and then Shin Soo Choo also homered for the Indians. So that brings our Great Clips home run counter to $1,400 donated so far this year. For every home run hit by the Indians, Great Clips donates $50 to the Gathering Place. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips.
Oh, yeah. And for Donald now, he was only the second right-handed hitter to hit one out of this ballpark. Peralta had 2. That was the 3rd time this year that a right-hander left the yard.
High pop to right. Jones makes the grab. Indians go 1-2-3. And we go to the 5th. 3-0 Cleveland.
McCafe Frappes. Caramel or mocha blended with a hint of coffee and ice. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Visit paninisgrill.com for a list of new locations. Boy, beautiful sunset. Another gorgeous day here in northeastern Ohio. And the Indians with a 3-0 lead, top of the 5th inning. Mark Kotze to lead it off for Chicago, and Mitch Talbot misses outside for ball 1. Kotze hit a ball to left field in his first at bat for a single, but it took a crazy hop and skip past Austin Kearns, and he wound up with a double. Going that way again.
It won't take a funny bounce now. They don't bounce funny in the air.
That's out number 1. Last night, Shin-Soo Choo showing off that cannon of an arm he has in right field. Omar Vizquel singled. No, 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 you don't run on Choo.
That was actually, too, a very good play by Marson. Watch, he's got to jump high to catch this ball and bring the tag down. But a great arm.
Carlos Quentin bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. First pitch strike once again from Mitch Talbot. He's had a bunch of those here this evening. He's had a lot of first pitch strikes, second pitch strikes, third pitch strikes. 53 pitches on the night, 39 have been strikes for Mitch Talbot. Two and one to count. Tommy Bowe tells me 9 of 15 batters have seen a first pitch strike from Talbot so far tonight. That ball broke his bat. And Trevor Crowe will make the catch in center field. 2 down. Well, let's have a look at our league leaders, our GMC 5-star league leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job, and Shin-Soo Choo tied with Carl Crawford among the outfield leaders in assists.
For me, Choo's got one of the best throwing arms in this league that you will see. Accurate, and it is strong. Not many outfielders throw like that, and a lot of times what will happen, an outfielder will get a lot of assists because they'll try and run on him because of his arm. You know, he doesn't have a good arm, and he'll have a lot of assists.
Austin Kearns with another pop fly. And the White Sox go 1-2-3. 3-0 Cleveland as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Oh, the grill is loaded up with dogs and
dollar
brats
dog night. You got it.
sausages.
Dollar dog night.
Trevor Crowe 0 for 2 tonight. He just grounded a first fly. Line out to right field.
There he goes. That's $4, please.
Fistful of dollars. Good fastball for a strike to even the count. One ball and 2 strikes. Top of the order for the Indians here in the 5th inning. Castro thought he had strike 3. He was getting ready to throw the ball down to Tian.
Peavy thought he had it as well. Do you see the look? He glares in there. It was like a little backdoor cutter or slider.
Crowe probably swung at ball 4 right there, and he grounds out to first. 1 down. Let's get a look at our Miller Taste Greatness moment tonight. 1 year ago this evening, the Indians against the Tampa Bay Rays were down 10 runs. In this game, they scored 7 in the 9th to come back and beat the Rays.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, that comeback.
That was on Memorial Day a year ago. That's why they had the red caps on.
9 runs in the last 2 innings.
And the Tampa Bay Rays, this is their house of horrors. What is it, 15 in a row they've lost here?
17, I believe.
17?
I think so. It's been since 05.
Shin-Soo Choo with a long home run his last time up to right field off Jake Peavy. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the count is full to Choo. So back-to-back 3-2 counts here to open the bottom of the 5th for Jake Peavy. He got Crowe to chase a pitch and ground out. And now the payout pitch to Choo. And he strikes him out. It's his 4th K tonight. 2 down. Well, last night, Omar Vizquel singled in the 5th inning of the ballgame. He started for the White Sox, and that moved him into a tie with fellow Venezuelan Luis Aparicio for 2nd most hits by a shortstop, 2,674. After the ballgame, Ozzie Guillen, also from Venezuela, like Vizquel and Aparicio, but he said, I'll take Omar as the best player to come out of Venezuela. He said, with all due respect to Luis, and I think Luis to the White Sox fan base is an icon, of course, but he said, I'll give the nod to Omar Vizquel.
Well,
you won't get any argument from anyone in Cleveland on that one, I'll tell you.
No, we had an opportunity to watch him play every day, and, we never saw Aparicio. I mean, we knew he was a good player. You never got to see him on TV as a kid growing up when he was around, but having the opportunity to watch this guy play for 10 straight years or 11 right here in Cleveland, you're not going to find any better, I can tell you that. As long as I've been around, he's the best I've seen at short. He's the one that started catching the ball barehanded and making plays without the glove on the run.
What I've always admired about Omar Vizquel, and we were even doing it today, watching him take ground balls before a ball game is just fun. Just watching him do his work and he did. When I watched him in Cleveland,
it's never a bad hop,
every
is it?
single day he would go out there, take his ground balls. and it's just fun to watch him. He's just an absolute magician with the glove. Jake Peavy strikes out a pair here in the 5th. 3-zip Cleveland as we go to inning number 6. Of the game is 24-ounce 6-packs of Pepsi, 4 for $10 at any Northeast Ohio Mark's location.
So head into your nearest Mark's, where you'll find a huge selection and low prices every day.
Sixth inning, Ramon Castro, Gordon Beckham, and Juan Pierre will bat for the White Sox. Johnny Peralta throws him out. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 6th. Our game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Jason Donald's first home run in the big leagues. 2 batters later, Shin-Soo Choo with a solo shot. And then still in that same inning, a 2-out RBI single by Russell Branyan. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Mitch Talbot has recorded 3 outs on his last 3 pitches.
Well, that's the one thing you love about him. He can have low pitch innings because he pitches to contact. And when he's on his game like he is tonight, I mean, it's almost 3-1 when you talk about strikes to balls. It's fun to watch. I've seen him have 5, 6 pitch innings, 9 pitch innings.
Popped him up on a jam job to short. 2 down. Wow, quickly now, the answer to our AT&T trivia question. I didn't even have enough time to think about this one. AT&T Rethink Possible. Only a player to appear in 1,000 games as a DH and also playing another position combined.
Look in their first base box. I'm thinking
Big Harold?
I think so. Yeah, he was an excellent DH, and he DH for a long time, but when he first came up, he was a right fielder for the Sox when he was a kid, and an awfully good one at that. He's a good player for a long time.
Bouncer to first. Branyan tags the bag. In his last 13 pitches, he's recorded 8 outs. What a job by Mitch Talbot. 3-zip. The Indians lead it as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Austin Kearns, Russell Brandon, and Johnny Peralta for the Indians. Jake Peavy gave up 800 feet worth of home runs in that 3rd inning. But other than that, he's pitched a dynamite game himself. And now Kearns smacks one right back up the gut. And the Indians get their leadoff man aboard here in inning number 6.
Little two-seamer rifled right back up the middle. That is hit number 7 now for the Tribe. First one for Kearns tonight. But they get their leadoff man aboard. Second time, because Donald hit that leadoff home run back in the 3rd.
Scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real, it's Wendy's. You know, we talked about this last night, Rick, about how Boston going into this series against Tampa Bay, really a key series for them early in the year where they needed to try to cut the gap between themselves and the Rays. They won last night, and they're winning again early tonight against the Rays. Boston started the night 7.5 games in back of the Rays, but in 4th place in the AL East, behind Toronto and New York. Indians, of course, will head to the Big Apple for this holiday weekend. A 4-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Indians, Yankees in New York.
Yeah, we have a Friday night game. That one will be on Channel 3, and then the rest of them will be day games.
Well, that's must-see TV right there on Channel 3. Fausto Carmona and Phil Hughes. 2 guys really pitching well this year. That's the only night game, though, as you mentioned. Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day, all 1 o'clock starts. 2-1 pitch. Tried to hold up, and he did not go, says third base ump Angel Hernandez. 3-1 to count. Boston leading Tampa, by the way. 2-0 is that score. They're in the 4th inning down at Tropicana Field.
Yeah, he held up, no question.
Strike called, full count. Austin Kearns does run well, but not really a base stealing threat.
Yeah, I don't look for him to run here with this combination.
Payoff pitch up high, ball 4. And that is the first walk issued today by Jake Peavy. And the Indians have 2 on with nobody out.
First walk in this ball game.
I don't even think Mitch Talbot's had a 3-ball count, has he?
Well, I don't know. He's 20 pitches. He's made 9 outs. We've got no, he has not.
Johnny Peralta struck out in the 2nd inning, hit one right on the nose in the 3rd, but right at Martin, the 3rd baseman, to end the inning. In tight. Scott Linebrink, big right-hander, loosening for Chicago. 86 pitches so far for Peavy here tonight, but Ozzie Guillen may be sensing that he's running out of gas.
Well, yeah, he may be. He looks like it. But it would be a great time for the Indians to add on in the middle parts, late in this ball game, 6th inning. You already have a 3-0 lead. There's a good start to this inning. First and second, nobody out. You'd like to push at least one across, if not more.
Peralta hammers it deep left field. Pierre racing back over his head. Coming around third, Austin Kearns is going to score. Branyan glides into third. Johnny Peralta with an RBI double, and it's a 4-0 Indians lead. For Johnny Peralta, that's double number 12, RBI number 19.
Well, good job, Johnny. He smoked a hanging pitch right here from Jake Peavy. Gets it over the head of Juan Pierre in left field. It scores another run. It sets up the inning. A breaking ball. It was on the outside part, but Peralta, he stayed back nicely. You can see that ball short hops the wall. Kearns comes in to score. Now they're going to have to bring the infield in.
And Valbuena goes after the first pitch. Almost hit it right back into our lap. Valbuena chops it foul wide of third, or wide of first, excuse me. But now he's in an 0-2 hole. Jake Peavy on the ropes. 2-strike pitch. Popped him in the air. Right field should be deep enough.
That'll be good to get him to third, too.
Pierre makes the grab and foul ground. Tagging and coming home. Branyan throw to the plate to slide. He just does beat it in there. And it's a 5-0 Indians lead as Valbuena picks up RBI number 10 on the season. And also important to note that Peralta was able to tag and go from second to third.
Well, he certainly made that a lot closer than what it should have been. He was a long way out there. I mean, when you look, that's at the ridge out there near the fence, and he just cocks and sets and throws a one-hopper. Branyan just gets in. Look at Valbuena saying he's safe. But because he pulled that ball, that enabled Peralta to go to third base, so they have an opportunity for one more.
Great throw by Jones, the right fielder. And did you notice Castro on the swipe tag? Branyan ended up taking that right on the nose.
Well, because he went in there sitting and pushing his hand right there instead of going in with a direct straight slide. Get in there quickly.
Infield still in for Chicago. 1-0 pitch to Marson, fouled back. Now the Indians with 3 in the third, and now 2 here in the 6th. A little bit high. 2 balls and a strike. Back out of play. 2-2. White Sox infield is drawn in, the 2-2 pitch, and again it's fouled off by Lou Marson. Rick, are you seeing a guy in Marson who is tracking the ball deep or who is just reacting late?
No, I think he tries to just slap everything the other way. I don't, there's times with 2 strikes you want to protect here. You've got a man on third base, you have the infield in, and you want to put it in play. But, a lot of times it's just like he's afraid to make an out over on the other side of the field. With 2 strikes, look, you want him to put in play. You don't want to punch out here. You want a chance to drive that run in and make it a 6-run game.
Another foul ball. Now, the reason I ask is we've watched Lou, 101 at bats coming in right here, and a lot of foul balls to the right side and a lot of balls put in play to the right side. This one he pulls to left field. Back goes Pierre, and this will get the run home.
Breaking ball, he speeds up his bat.
Peralta tags and scores, and the Indians plate 3 more and lead it 6-0. They had 3 in the third, 3 here in the 6th.
They did a nice job of maximizing that inning. And here you go. Peavy does him a favor. He speeds up his bat, throwing him the slider. And that makes it so much quicker. Where instead of maybe he'll slap it the other way, that slider enables him about 5 to 6 mile an hour difference, and he pulls the ball and gets the RBI in.
Well, hey, let's give credit where it's due. The Indians did the little things here in this inning they needed to do to get those runs in.
That's exactly right. They had another big inning, which is good.
Donald fouls it off. 0-2 the count. Jason Donald hit his first major league home run in the third, and that started the Indians' offense here tonight. That made it 1-0. 2 batters later, Shin-Soo Choo with a home run. And then later in the inning, a 2-out RBI hit by Russell Brandon. And it was 3-zip Cleveland after 3. And Mitch Talbot has made it stand up so far with 6 shutout innings on 2-hit baseball.
Did you see Donald right there? After he hit that ball, he threw his bat to run because he thought it might have been a fair ball and hit Castro in the toe. And he went back down. He said, "Hey, sorry, big guy."
And that is a big guy behind the plate, too.
He apologized. He didn't mean to do it.
Punches one towards second base. Beckham throws him out. But the Indians get 3 more. And now through 6 innings of play, it's Cleveland 6 and Chicago nothing. AT&T. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T, rethink possible. By the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's. Six-zip Indians on top. 7th inning here at Progressive Field, and it's been a beautiful night. And Mitch Talbot has been dynamite.
How about that pitch? Look at that. A 5-pitch 6, a 7. That's remarkable. 20 pitches in his last 3 innings.
Alexi Ramirez looks at ball 1 outside. In that 6th inning, Mitch Talbot made 5 pitches. Jake Peavy made 26.
You know, and you look at it, if you flip the coin around and our hitters went out in 20 pitches in the last 3 innings, you'd be saying, my goodness, they're swinging at everything early in the count. They're not making them work. But when you prove you're throwing strikes early, and he's got excellent movement, it's total opposite of his last game. where he couldn't command a lot of his sinker or his pitch. Now he's in total command of it, and these guys are saying, well, I don't want to spot him early. But, they're not making them. They're getting after those early strikes, but they're hitting them right at Tribeman.
Well, the other thing, too, Rick, is what tonight's outing tells you is that last time out for Mitch Talbot was just a bad game, and you're entitled every once in a while to have a bad game as a starting pitcher.
Yeah, you're not going to command your pitches, and he's a guy that needs his control and command.
But there's been no carryover. Just missed. Almost had him rung up there. Line down the right field line, fair ball.
Somebody touched
it. A fan reached over and grabbed it, so that'll stop Ramirez at second base. Probably wouldn't have gone any farther anyway. And the White Sox get their leadoff man aboard for the very first time tonight.
And he did a nice job. That one, he left it middle of the plate, kept that spinner up. And he kept it just inside the line down at first base. And watch the fan. It took a nice hop. Hits the hands. Ground rule double. Out of their 3 hits, 2 doubles. That other one was a Mark Kotze ball that spun past.
Alex Rios singled his last time up. Marson and Talbot trying to get on the same page here. It's only the second time tonight the White Sox have had a runner at second base. And now they're going to talk it over. Talbot wants Marson to come out. No, I guess he doesn't. Changed his mind, huh?
Well, I don't think Talbot did.
Marson never moved. He was walking towards home plate. Marson never moved.
That's exactly right. So he's saying, no, throw what he's calling, I think.
Fastball for a strike. 0-2 the count. Something about the runner being on second base has these two guys just out of sorts right now. And Marson's going to go out with a check. Either that or Talbot's not following Marson's lead and he's getting frustrated. But you wouldn't think they'd have that problem at this point in the game the way he's throwing the ball.
No, you want to keep him in his rhythm. Continue to keep throwing those strikes. It doesn't matter what you put down. He's been throwing everything in the zone.
And the 2-strike pitch coming inside with it. Missed off the plate. Popped him in the air. Valbuena, the second baseman, calling for it. 1 down.
Well, spend your lunch break right here at the ballpark tomorrow for lunch in 3 innings. Or make it 9 if you'd like. You can get a ticket for the Tribe White Sox game at $12.05 plus $10 in ticket plus food credit, all for just $15. Tickets on sale now, so log on to Indians.com. Noontime tomorrow. Wrap up this homestand. Off day on Thursday.
This is hammered toward left center. Crow racing back. Can't get to it. White Sox will get on the board. Ramirez scores. Jones chug-a-lugging into second base. And he's got an RBI double. His 6th two-bagger of the year, his 20th run batted in.
You know, he hit this ball hard. This might have been the hardest ball hit. Looked like a little cutter. And Jones just drilled it to left center field. So the White Sox are on the board.
Marcotte doubled in the second, fly to left his last time up. Both times, though, he's hit the ball to Austin Kearns. This time he pulls it past Russell Brandon down the right field line. Coming around to score is Jones. Kotze turns two. He's going for three. Valbuena, the relay to the bag. He is out. Two down as Mark Kotze is eliminated after an RBI double.
Well, that's a mistake there by the third base coach, Cox, who was waving him along. He thought Chu had another problem, so guess what? Another assist for Chu. He was waving him, and you can't do it when you're down by 4 runs. I mean, he's going to drive in their second run. Let's see. Chu gets on this ball in a hurry. Watch the strong throw right there in good motion, and they throw him out easily. And they were calling for him all the way, and that's a big mistake by the Sox.
So 2 down, bases empty now for Carlos Quentin, who is 0 for 2. High drive, deep left field. Kearns back. Leaps up and couldn't come up with it. And now Quentin turns and he's going to hold right there at second base. I thought for a moment he was going to try for 3. And wouldn't that have been something?
It's their 4th double in the inning. No, not after you see that guy in front of you getting thrown out. You don't try. Especially, the score dictates when you go. He gets underneath this one. Kearns going back. Jumps up and just out of his reach. Comes off the wall.
Well, it looks like he had leather on it. I mean, he just missed making a terrific catch right there. So Tim Belcher's going to go to the mound as the Indians bullpen gets busy. 75 pitches so far tonight for Mitch Talbot. He made it look easy through the first 6, but here in the 7th, 4 doubles by Chicago. While we have a moment, let's go back to the studios for our first in-game update tonight. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida, where the Boston Red Sox have scored 2 runs tonight. Here's how they got him. David Ortiz, a double to bring them both in, and that's been it. 2-0 Boston. John Lester, a 1-hitter through 5. Back to you.
Now, John Lester can do that.
Yeah,
yes,
John
indeed.
Lester, he's one of the best left-handers in this league. He's a good pitcher, and he's pitching much better. He, for some reason, starts off slowly in April as well.
All right, 2 down here for Mark T, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. One-0 pitch. Weakly hit up the first baseline. Brandon will have an easy play. And the inning is over. The White Sox get on the board. Stretch time in Cleveland. Tribe on top 6-2. This spring, grab a refreshing beverage and a delicious overstuffed sandwich at any one of their locations. From Westlake to Willoughby, they've got you covered for your overstuffed sandwiches and cold beverages. For a list of all their spots, visit paninisgrill.com. Scott Linebrink coming on for the 14th time this year in relief of Jake Peavy, who went 6 innings and allowed 6 runs tonight.
Linebrink just 15 in the third innings, 12 hits, has walked 7, struck out 14. He has made 5 straight scoreless outings for the Sox. Linebrink needs 13 punch-outs for 500 in his career. He's going to get the top part of the lineup for the Indians.
One-zero pitch fouled away by Crow. Bounced it in front of home plate. Swung on and missed. And the count now 2-2 for Trevor Crow, who twice tonight has bounced out to first base. And he is also lined out to right field. Shin-Soo Choo waits on deck, then Travis Hafner for the Indians here in their half of the 7th inning. Good fastball up high, and Crow can't catch up to it. 1 down here in the 7th inning.
Well, Tribe fans, you can get gear and go cheer. If you spend $50 or more at any Indians team shop, a concession stand here at the ballpark, or Indians.com, you will receive a voucher good for 2 tickets to any Indians home game in June. So visit Indians.com for more details.
Shin-Soo Choo looks at ball 1 down low. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Singled in the first, homered in the third. Struck out his last time up. High fly ball, left field. Juan Pierre says, I'll take this. And he does. 2 down. Crowd tonight has watched the Indians offense come to life. A 3-run third inning highlighted by a pair of home runs. One by Jason Donald, first of his major league career. One by Shin-Soo Choo. And then the Indians pieced together a 3-run 6th inning to build a 6-0 lead. White Sox got 2 in the top half of the 7th inning. And that's where we stand as Travis Hafner, 2 for 3, stands in. He doubled and scored with 2 outs in that third inning when Russell Brandon lined a single to center field after 2 were out. Hafner with a line drive toward right field, but Jones is right there to make the catch, and the Indians go 1-2-3. We'll go to the 8th. 6-2 Indians. Well, Mitch Talbot, his night over after 77 pitches. 57 of those were 4 strikes. He's in line for the win if Chris Perez in the bullpen can make it stand up. And Perez fires a first pitch strike to Ramon Castro, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Talbot allowed 2 hits through the first 6 innings, and then the White Sox had 4 doubles and scored a pair of runs in that 7th inning. 0-2 the count on Castro.
Yeah, Mitch Talbot was outstanding. What a nice adjustment he made from his last start. Came out, pounded the strike zone. And it worked very well for him. Still only 77 pitches.
Castro almost chased after it, but held up.
But you know what? Why not turn it over to a guy who's been lights out? Chris Perez has not allowed an earned run in his last 14 innings. Close, but spanning 12 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 13 strikeouts. You know, with that 9 o'clock game, you said at the start that you'd love to get Talbot deep into the game. He did just that. Give me 7 innings, and he was perfect. They scored for him. They had a couple of 3-run innings, which was very nice.
Tell you what, at one point, he was on pace to go the distance with ease. Swung on and missed. He struck him out.
Well, not too late to become a Tribe season ticket holder. Prorated season ticket plans are on sale now. It includes all season ticket holder benefits like exchange dates, price discounts, and exclusive events. You can also spread out your payments through the end of July. Call 216-420-HITS.
Gordon Beckham fouls it right back to the screen, and the count is 0-1. Beckham grounded to short in the 3rd. He popped to short in the 6th. Can't lay off the high heat. It's 0-2. The 0-2 offering. Grounded to short. Donald gobbles it up and throws him out. 2 down. Top of the order, Juan Pierre. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Juan Pierre out on strikes his first time up. He flied to left in the third and then bounced out to first base to end the 6th inning. Trying to slap it the other way, as so often he will do. Now 1-1 pitch in the air, slicing over near the line. Kearns reaches it. Oh, he had leather on it, but couldn't squeeze it. He needed about 6 more inches to reach in there.
Yeah, he got over there in time, and it was just slicing away from him. He needed about another glove length. Got to introduce himself to a couple people over there. There he is. Oh, it hit that one guy. They gave him the opportunity to catch it. I will say that. Look at this. They pulled their hands away, and he must have been 6 inches away from catching that. Ouch.
Pierre gets drilled. He goes to first with 2 down here in the 8th.
This ball, he just could not spin out of the way.
There's a guy, I can't think of his name. There's a guy whose nickname in baseball was Old Aches and Pains, and that's what I think of when I watch.
What, watch him walk to first base or the way he runs?
Juan Pierre looks like he's in pain when he starts walking. Uh-oh, this is lined in the alley. This is trouble. It gets down. Crow trying to cut it off. He does. Pierre's going to be waved around. Valbuena will throw to the plate, not in time.
Well, Aches and Pains scores, doesn't he? That's another double now for the White Sox. That is their 6th double.
And it's a 6-3 ball game. That's the first earned run allowed by Chris Perez at home this year. 8 2/3 innings. He's given up 1 earned run here at Progressive Field so far this season. And without the hit batter.
Well, that's exactly right.
Here's Rios. Looks at ball 1 outside. Rios had a base hit in the 4th inning. 1 for 3 tonight. 2 for 7 now in the series.
That's a season high in doubles for the White Sox. It was 5 prior to this game. It came May 11th at Minnesota. Well, they have 6. They had 5 in the last 2 innings.
Well, what's odd is, to have 4 doubles in 1 inning and only get 2 runs.
Well, that man thrown out at third. That's what, I'll tell you what, that was a big break for the Indians there.
Fastball strike at 95 miles an hour, 2-1 to count. You saw Tony Sipp heating up there in the bullpen. Rios with Jones on deck, another right-handed hitter. And then Kotze, the left-hander, is in the hole. 3-1 pitch. Bounce to short. This should get him out. Donald fires it over. And that'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th here at Progressive Field. It's a 6-3 Indians lead. as we go now to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Progressive Field. Austin Kearns, Russell Branyan, and Johnny Peralta due up for the Tribe here. In the bottom of the 8th, Scott Linebrink stays on for Chicago. Kearns 1 for 3, singled and scored in that 6th inning. And he's got another hit with a liner to left. Indians get their leadoff man aboard. Hey, don't miss it. Tee It Up Ohio Thursday nights at 6 here on STO. Jimmy Hanlon and Mike Cairns explore some of the best courses in Ohio. And now they want to put some gas in your car so you can head out and see some of those courses. Every month they're going to give away a $250 marathon gas card. Just log on to teeitupohio.com and register today.
That's pretty nice. Make sure that they don't use those cards for themselves.
Jimmy and Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, they'd never do that.
I know Jimmy would.
Oh, that's a shot right there.
Mike doesn't listen anymore.
He's given up?
Him. Yeah, we abuse him too much. If you're listening to Mike, we love you, pal.
Well, he'll get his chance to get even. We got the big par 3 challenge coming up.
When is that?
On Sports Time. Well, we're going to start shooting it here in the near future, but it won't air until the fall. Once they get it all produced and ready to go.
Go.
Might want to loosen up a little bit.
I think. Well, no. Cold turkey.
Stay tuned to Sports Time Ohio for more details on the par 3 challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fouled out of play. By the way, Rick, John Whaler checked in with us on Facebook tonight. He let us know Luke Appling was the guy known as Old Aches and Pains. Played his whole career with the Chicago White Sox, so kind of appropriate. He got that moniker because he complained every day to his teammates about all this hurts, that hurts. Which reminds me a little bit about the stories that I heard about Roberto Clemente, that he was a hypochondriac. And the worse he felt, the better he played.
Well, there's guys like that, man. Every ache and pain you hear about it, but they're out there every day. That's the bottom line.
Fouled away again by Russell Branyan. Drove in a run with 2 outs in the 3rd. He walked and scored in the 6th inning, so he's been in the middle of both of the Indians' 3-run rallies here tonight. One-two pitch, fouled back. Reminder, you can follow us on Facebook all season long. All you have to do is log on to facebook.com/STOMatt. If you've got a question, a comment, feel free to log in and weigh in on current issues with the Indians.
Or anything you want to talk about.
That's true. In the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Oh, I didn't miss by much. Full count. Leadoff man at first for the Indians here in the bottom of the 8th, and the payoff pitch. Runner goes. And Branyan socks it high in the air. Shallow center. Charging in comes Rios. And back to first goes Austin Kearns, 1 down. Kerry Wood loosening in the Indians bullpen. Good chance he'll be looking at a save situation here. Andrew Jones, 7 career hits and 26 at bats. Then you got Kotze, 6 for 16, and Carlos Quinton, just 1 for 2. Johnny Peralta doubled in a run and scored in the 6th. And it's outside. 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. Johnny Peralta, 2 for 7 in the series now. Broke his bat, bloops it to right field. That's a hit. Hitting second, going to third is Austin Kearns, and no throw. Good base running by Kearns. He got a good read on it, and he never hesitated.
You're absolutely right, Matt. He read it well. He knew it was going to fall in, so you put your head down and you scamper to third. That ball jams Peralta. It was a fastball inside. They wanted it away. But you hear the crack of the bat. You see it shatters. Kearns recognizes it. Look at him. He's already at second base. Yeah, that's good base running. Nobody had to tell him. He's in scoring position now, and the Indians with a chance to add on.
Valbuena, the batter, takes a strike. Middle infield double play depth for Chicago. Corner infielders are at the bags. Of course, Kotze's holding the runner at first, and Martin is even with the bag at third. Valbuena tonight, back in the 6th inning, in a similar situation, hit a long fly ball to deep right field, drifted into foul territory, and he wound up with a sacrifice fly. And now the 0-1. Oh, the squeeze play is on.
How about
Valbuena
that?
Perfectly
Yes,
executed.
indeed.
Kearns scores, and it's now 7-3 Indians lead.
I love it right there. That's a great call by Manny Acta. It worked to perfection. First squeeze I've seen in probably 8, 9, 10 years here. And it's a gimme run. That is a great job with one out. The squeeze put on. Now watch Kearns as he comes off. He let the pitcher go. Beautiful job. Well executed. You get that run across. It's a 4-run lead. A beautiful play. Love to see that. Great job.
That's a perfect spot for it.
I love it.
You've
One
got a guy
out.
who's
I know
struggling
it.
with
That
the
really
bat.
is. Really nicely done. Good call by Manny Acta.
Marson cuts and misses.
Very nice. And you know what? That's got to make Valbuena feel good. You know, now, you may take that save situation away, but it doesn't matter. You got a 4-run lead. Good job.
Now the 0-2. Up high. A ball and 2 strikes. You know, that's one of those plays, too. I always wonder, Rick, as a hitter, if that heart rate doesn't start picking up.
Does.
Because you know that runner's
you know
coming.
what? You don't want to give it away. It does pick up. When you see the squeeze sign, because a lot of times when you get the squeeze sign, you have an answer sign.
To make
sure.
sure.
To let them know that you know it's on. Whether you hit your helmet or something you do before you get back in the box. So that'll be a wild pitch. But, you do. And then you say, okay, just look for the ball. Don't give it away early. And then you're relying on that guy from third base not breaking too soon where you get one at your coconut. And that was done to perfection. And I really don't know. Let's see. I want to see if he gets back in and does anything. I'll go through the sign again.
Let me make sure I got
there's
this.
There's the squeeze. There it is. Let me see. What did he do? I didn't see any answer right there.
Marson strikes out and the inning is over, but the Indians get one back and will go to the ninth. 7-3 Cleveland. top. And it will be Kerry Wood time as he'll come on for the Indians. Andrew Jones, Mark Kotze, and Carlos Quinton. One last thought on that squeeze play. And that is that, Rick, even if Chicago knew it was coming or sensed it, unless the pitcher
throws it right at the hitter.
Yeah, there's not much you can do really to defend it. If the guy puts the ball in play, there's not much you can do.
No, that's why I like it. I mean, if you have the right people to do it. The situation was perfect for Actor right there. He did a great job, and it was executed beautifully.
As you say, the key is not to tip it off, because if you do it too soon, then the pitcher can blow the whole thing up by you know, throwing it right at the hitter or
a pitch out into the other box if you're left-handed. But, I mean, we haven't seen it here. I haven't seen it here in 10 years. Wedge never did it, ever, that I recall, ever. And before him, Charlie Manuel.
Well, I remember Omar tried it in the playoffs one time, and it didn't work, and the passed ball, and we scored a run.
Well, that was in Baltimore in the 90s when Hargrove was the manager. Yeah. That was 97. So, I mean, let's go. We're talking 13, 14 years. Omar was the last guy to do it here. He did it 2 times when he was with the Rangers. Once with the Giants, once with the Rangers. I'm wondering, I want to try and find out by Friday if we can go back and find out the last time a squeeze play the Indians had one successful here. We're going to have to look for a long time. Tommy, can you go through the box scores, please, while we're on the road?
Oh, boy.
I'll bring him to New York. I'm going to room you with Matt, Tommy. Come on.
Ground ball. Valbuena throws him out. 1 down. Let's get a look at our player of the game tonight, Mitch Talbot. What a job he did for the Indians. 6 innings of 2-hit baseball. Then he ran into a little trouble in the 7th, but gave up just 2 runs in the 7 innings of work on the evening.
Well, this is the second time he's pitched against the White Sox, and it's the second very, very good game. First time he went 9 innings. Second time he's gone 7.
Mark Kotze, 2 for 3 tonight, 2 doubles. He has 3 hits in the series. All 3 hits have been doubles. Lines one toward right center. This time they will hold him to a mere single.
Well, he should have stayed at second on his last time up. He got thrown out at third base, and I'll tell you what, it really put a damper on that inning. He gets a fastball on the inner part of the plate and gets it into right field. He's always hit the Indians well, no matter who he's played for, whether it's San Diego, Oakland.
Stay tuned for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show coming up right after the ball game. We'll look back at the highlights and get you set up for tomorrow's series finale that will not be televised. Rick and I will be back with you from New York City on Friday night when the Indians and the Yankees open a 4-game holiday weekend series. Chuck's last call, of course, will follow the Conrad's post-game show tonight. Breaking ball just missed. Two-one. Quinton, double play ball to short. Donald to Valbuena, on to Branyan, and the Indians win it. Final score tonight, the Indians 7 and the White Sox 3 as they even the series at a game apiece with the finale coming your way tomorrow at noon right here at Progressive Field. With the win, the Indians 17 and 27 now on the year. White Sox dropped to 19 and 26. The winning pitcher tonight is Mitch Talbot. He is now 6-3 on the year. The losing pitcher is Jake Peavy. He drops to 3-4 on the season. Tonight's play of the game brought to you by KeyBank, banking home of your Cleveland Indians.
Well, let's go back. This is always fun watching a young man get his first major league home run. Only the second right-hander to hit one in this park this year for the Tribe. Peralta had 2 other. That's the 3rd this year. So he gets his first one. That's our KeyBank key play of the game.
Boy, it's a different game when you pitch well, when you get a
you
starting
score early.
performance like they got from Mitch Talbot. What a difference it made as the Indians come back to win the night, 7-3, the final score, evening the series at a game apiece. Stay tuned. We're coming right back with the Conrad's postgame show next.